welcome to another episode of Women in Business. And I have a special guest, of course, Namia Vance. Welcome to
Thank
Women in Business
you.
Wednesdays.
Thank
How are you,
you.
beautiful?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you for your time. Thank you for jumping on and sharing a little bit with us about you and what it is that you do.
Well, thank you for
Um,
having me.
yes, ma'am. So, me and Namia, we met at the mall because she had a look at Towson Town Center in Maryland,
Hmm.
and she had a stand. It was a Sunday because, like I said, when they had that's when they had the pop ups in the mall on Sundays
On the weekends,
on the
yep.
weekends, and
Hmm.
she had waist beads, and I had heard about waist beads in the past, but I didn't really know anything about them, and so we started talking. And now I'm a fan of waist beads, and then come to find out, come to find out, and you can explain what they are because I'm sure there's people that don't know what they are. You know what I'm saying? What the
Hmm.
purpose of them are. But then come to find out, she also has a nonprofit as well where she helps young people get prepared for being professional. And so your business for your waist beads is
The Waist Beads is Waist Beads by Rain. Rain, Reign. That's my granddaughter's middle name. Her name is
oh,
Parker Rain, so
oh,
that's where the rain comes from.
that's beautiful. And then you have your nonprofit,
Yes.
and that's called
The nonprofit is called Suitable Attire,
okay.
where we teach kids soft skills on, resume writing, but the caveat is more so decorum and behavior and professional attire for
Mm.
career development and job opportunities.
And we definitely, I mean, we definitely need that. Like what I was telling you, like that's something that from when I was in the like in a corporate setting, like I knew that's something that we're missing. You know what I'm saying? People don't know how to dress for interviews. They don't know how to dress for funerals. They don't know how to
Right.
dress appropriately for a lot of different things. And
Absolutely.
it's because sometimes their parents don't know. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be taught something that you don't your parents don't know. So I think that's super valuable, especially being in Baltimore and Baltimore City. Like I
Y-
know that's very valuable. But
Yes.
let's talk about these waist beads real quick.
Yes.
So for the viewers and the people that don't know what they're for, give us a little bit of insight to what they are, what they're for, like, what people like. What are waist beads?
So, waist beads traditionally are an African tradition. I'm not going to get too deep into that because it's a whole history behind waist beads and trading, and you know, um, you know, depending on who you're talking to. People that are originally from Africa. Some say they were created in Nigeria, some say Ghana. So that's a whole debate that I never get into. But for modern day purposes, a lot of women, a lot of my clients use waist beads to gauge their waist, their weight loss, just because they're cute and they're sexy.
Yeah,
A lot of women, want to have their own personal sexy, like we talked about.
yeah,
Um, and just for an adornment, it's an accessory. And, just like an accessory for your belly.
yeah.
And a lot of times with the waist beads, I get a lot. For me, it's more so empowering women to embrace their bodies because I speak
Mm,
to a lot of women and they're like they hate their stretch marks, they hate their birth and scars. You know what I mean? So it's like they're beautiful. Those are the things that make us women, right?
yeah.
So a lot of times that's why I love it so much. The interaction with the women, the beads are great and they're beautiful and all of that. But the feeling that a woman gets when they put them on is transformative and it's immediate. And you can see their confidence boosted in that instance. And I love that.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So I told you that like so when I bought them, I bought two, and like that evening I was like, oh, I have like a little sexy secret going on, and nobody
Mhm.
talks about. And then I'm going on my going to see my life insurance clients. I'm like, y'all don't even understand.
Right.
Got a little thing going on here, right?
That's what I
So
love to hear.
yeah, like
That's
that's and then I've been telling everybody about them. I'm like, you need to get you some waist beads because I got a little sexy secret going on. Look,
Yeah,
like
right. And it's so funny. Most of my clients are older women.
mm,
I mean, I have clients, races, all ages, but a lot of my clients are older women, and that's exactly what they say. It's their own personal sexy. No one has to know. You know,
yeah,
because they have their little crop tops on and they flaunting their bellies and their little flat bellies with their beads. But the older women are the women that, are like, I'm sexy, honey. I'm 70 and I'm sexy or whatever,
yeah,
and I just love that confidence boost because we all need it.
yeah,
We all of us don't like something about ourselves, so
yeah.
that's just a nice feeling to give someone.
Yeah, and then too, like you said, the weight because I'm losing weight. That's what I was the reason I got them because I've heard about them for just gauging your weight loss, and so
Hmm.
now mine are getting bigger because I've lost more weight since I've seen you. I probably saw you about a month or so ago. Yeah, so I
Good.
got to get them adjusted. But I mean, it really is like it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it really
Hmm.
is. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm seeing on what I'm saying on a daily basis, like okay,
Your progress.
these things are about to fall off.
Good. That's good. And congratulations. I mean, I'm on a weight loss journey too. So I understand, those little inches matter.
Yeah, yeah, and then seeing, what I'm saying, that's a reminder to me, what I'm saying, that when when I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh, these things are like about to fall down. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like because they're and I gotta get them adjusted. But yeah, like I love the concept. And I had no idea about the history. Like that's
Yeah.
very intriguing to me.
Yeah,
Um
so the history, like I said, it goes back, and I think again, I don't get into the debate with people,
mhm.
but women use them for fertility purposes. Women use them as a sign of purity when and culturally is different because I get clients that want to put their kids in waist beads and things are so sexualized, but culturally that's when they put the beads on the babies when they're 3 and 4, and they
Wow.
and they use them as when they give them off to their husband is to take the beads off of them as a sign of purity. So
Wow.
that's another aspect of the cultural part of it.
Okay.
But things here in America are so sexualized in the Western world, you know how it is. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I always tell clients that, that's your personal choice. But absolutely a 4-year old, an 8-year old, a 12-year old. I have a little dancer client. She's like 10. Her mom buys her waist beads. But their parents understand the
Right.
cultural differences.
Got
So
you.
yeah.
Now, how did you end up getting into creating waist beads?
So my my clerk, where a position I used to have as an HR manager, my clerk, she was, hey, Sinette Potts.
Hey, Jeanette, I hope
She'll
you're
watch.
watching. Like, share, and
She
comment, please,
this is
Jeanette.
my this is my little baby. She's a little hustler. She was making t-shirts. She's a bartender. She's an esthetician. She does a lot of
Oh,
things.
we need to get her
But
on here too, then.
oh, absolutely. I'll send you
Yeah.
her information. But she was making waist beads, and I don't know. After a while, she's like, Miss Me, I'm tired of making waist beads, and she gave me all of her supplies. And I was like, okay, I didn't know. I heard about waist beads like yourself, and I knew what they were, but I was like, I'm making waist beads, okay. So I did, and it started out as a hobby. And I had that was like in 2015 or 16 when I
Mm,
first started just making them. I want to say 2016. And then I moved to Baltimore in 2018. And I was home one day. I was bored. I read all the books I could read, the single, empty nester, all that stuff. And I was like, let me pull out my beads. And I did. And I just started creating. And I took them to work one day, and the lady was like, I want to buy some. I was like, okay. I was giving them away. I was like,
yeah.
I want some beads. I was like, this is a business. I was like, okay. But I didn't know how popular they were becoming.
Yeah.
And then I started doing like in farmers markets and pop ups, and I had some in some local shops here. Um, yeah, it's been good. And during the pandemic, I had the opportunity to go online um, to do an e-commerce store, which did really well during the pandemic, which I was surprised. So yeah, it was good. It was good. So that's how I started with the waist beads, and from there just took off. And I'm at the mall, as you can see. I've done all the farmers markets probably here in Baltimore City, and a couple in the county as well. But I'm mostly at Towson Mall and at the farmers market under 83.
Okay, and then when are you in those locations if people want to come and find you?
So it's like every they can follow me on IG and Namia underscore G underscore Vance. um, but I'll usually post. It depends on because I'm making everything by hand, so I have to get my stock back up. Like when I saw you at the mall, that was in March. And then
Yeah.
I did the farmers market. So now I'm just creating so I can re up on my product because everything is handmade.
Okay.
So and I have stuff, but I always like to have a variety. And so I'll be at the farmers market, I think, the second week in May, and then I'm back at Towson in June. But I'll definitely give you the dates.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so then obviously you make them in all sizes, right? Because you talked
Yes.
about little
Yes.
kids and then you have adults. Like, so does it matter if I'm a bigger woman? Like, can you make something that will fit me if I'm bigger, or like what does that look like?
Yes. And on my website, I think my sizing goes up to 55 inches, 50 or 55 inches. I have to check. But I do custom orders all the time for women that are bigger. And sometimes I think, when we say bigger, all of our bodies are shaped differently. So I
Yeah.
get women that look bigger and they have a little teeny waist.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Then you have some women that, look average and they have a bigger waist. So it just depends. But I do custom orders as well. So it doesn't matter the size.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's dope too. So you can make it no matter what size you are,
Yep.
big or
Yep.
small, you got something for them.
Yes,
And then
ma'am.
as far like so your website still up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What's your
And
website?
it's waistbeadsbyrain.com.
Okay, very simple.
Yep. Yep.
And then real quick, I wish we had a little bit more time, but let's switch into your nonprofit. So suitable attire.
Yes.
And so what ages do you service? What does that look like?
13 to 19.
Okay.
And I can, I was just approached by Department of Juvenile Services to see if I can stretch it, and I can stretch it to 24. But you have to separate, an 18-year-old and 24-year-old, even though the age gap is not that large, it's still a big difference in maturity. So when I do things with older, young adults, it's just usually like from 21 on and up. But I like to keep the younger people together.
Okay.
So from 13 to 19 and then 24 if needed, depending on the setting and the organization that I'm working with.
Okay. And
Mhm.
then is it women? Is it girls, boys? Is it both?
Boys, girls.
Okay.
It's interesting because I got a lot more interest from the young men. You would think that the females are more
Really?
interested, but I get
Okay.
a lot more interest from the young men than the young ladies. And it's not to say that they're not interested, but I think that, like you said earlier, you don't know what you don't know.
Mhm.
And if you don't have an example to teach you, then you just don't know. And then
Mhm.
when I talk to kids and I'm telling them about I'm telling them about the organization and, just training on just basic soft skills and resume writing and,
Yeah.
giving a young man a tie, they're like, oh, wow. And I don't know how to tie a tie, but I always have someone there to assist to help the young men tie a tie
Um,
and teach them how to do those type of things. But I need to learn how to tie a tie.
or you can just keep bringing your guy that
Yeah,
helps tie
yeah,
ties.
yeah, yeah. But no, it's also a sense of empowerment for them as well because when you learn something new, you feel empowered, right? So
Yeah,
even I
absolutely.
mean, and it's simple stuff. It's nothing that these are simple, basic things that kids
But
should know.
basic for some kids,
Right,
right? Because
right,
I
right.
can remember, and the reason it like what you said resonated with me so well is because I can literally remember at my first corporate job, I didn't know how to dress, right? Because
Hmm.
my parents didn't teach me. My parents were chemists, so they didn't
Hmm.
teach me about dressing professionally. And
Hmm.
then I was constantly getting pulled in the office by my manager about showing too much cleavage or showing too much.
Hmm.
I was in my like 22 years old.
Hmm.
And so luckily I had a manager who invested the time in me to teach me, about how to dress and
That's
just making
awesome.
sure that I had like she's like, you need to just go and have you some basics, like get you a basic black suit, a basic white shirt, something
Yep.
that's going to be timeless and classic. Doesn't matter what year it is, you can always wear it. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
even, I mean, now, like, you know, nails are like a big thing, but back then,
Hmm.
like, you should only be getting red or a French manicure. You just keep it very plain because we were in that type of environment.
Yep.
And so, but these are things that, and both of my parents were college educated. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
These are
Right.
things that I never learned. And thank goodness I had someone to teach me. But how many people, how many children out there or young adults don't have that teaching? And
Right,
then,
right, and like I said, these are basic things that we should all know, but we don't. Even
yeah,
as some adults, we're always growing and learning daily. And for me, I grew up in a single parent household, and for me, my mother was from the in the 70s. I was born in the 70s. She was a fly
mhm,
woman and had her wigs and her makeup, and so I learned that from her.
yeah,
I learned to dress properly, and she always, this is what you wear, like your mentor taught you. This is what you wear for an interview. This is what you wear when you go out. Don't couldn't wear red. That's a whole
yeah,
nother conversation. Like, no red underwear, no red lips, no red nothing, because that was, considered taboo. And I'm still like hesitant to wear red now as an adult, but all of those little lessons that she taught me, it stayed with me. Even I'm as an adult, you've grown, you do what you want to do, but even as a young person and going into in a corporate world or into a work environment, I always knew to be proper.
mhm.
And but again, you don't know what you don't know.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. So that, I know that's something that's very, very needed. I mean, not just in
Hmm.
Baltimore, but all over.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
Now let me ask you this last, hopefully this last question. Um, so you're obviously you've done some entrepreneurial thing. You know what I'm saying? You have the waist beads, you have your nonprofit. What would you tell somebody who's like on the fence about starting a business?
I would tell them to do a lot of research before they just jump in and make do a lot of research, one, because it costs money. It's
Mhm.
not free to start a business. You take a lot of L's financially. So
Yeah.
do a lot of research before they determine on what they want to do. Because I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs, and even and speaking to a lot of entrepreneurs, that they've done 10 different things until
Mhm.
they've really found out what their passion was. So I would really say follow your passion, and something that you love doing, so it doesn't feel like work. And I know that sounds cliche, but it's true. Like, I love working with youth, so it's nothing for me to, talk to young people, because that's what I love to do.
Right.
But I would tell them to really invest in doing their research and making sure that it's something that they love, because once you start, yeah, everything is a cost too. So it's cute to get an EIN number. That's free, right? But I have an EIN number. I have a business. No. You have to register that business. You have to pay taxes on that business.
Yeah.
Even if you don't make any money. So, last year financially, I took an L. Vending is not free. When you saw me at Towson for the
You're paying
weekends,
for that space.
it's $550
Oh
plus
wow.
plus insurance, right?
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
exactly. So I think when you put costs to things, so people would think that, oh, she just makes waist beads. No, I pay for these things, and in the business part of it is a business. And
Yeah.
honestly, I didn't start doing the business side until the pandemic. I was just selling waist beads. I wasn't keeping track of my money. I mean, I would get, I'll get my stuff from like Square and PayPal and all the
Mhm.
financial pieces. But when I started putting it into QuickBase and started calculating how much money I spend in beads, how much money I spend in vending fees, how much money I'm buying
Profit and
elastic,
loss.
how much money the little class costs. I mean, no, it's a cost, and
Yeah.
it's a business.
Yeah. I mean, that's profit and loss.
Yeah,
Like, if
yes,
you need to figure
exactly.
out if you need to stay in business.
Exactly. So I would encourage anyone that's starting out on their entrepreneurship journey just to really make sure that this is something that they want to do, and to be patient, because sometimes I make money and sometimes I don't.
Absolutely.
It
Yeah.
is, and that's just it doesn't matter if it's waist beads, if I'm selling hair, if I'm selling shea butter, if I'm selling whatever, if I'm selling clothing, it doesn't matter. You're gonna take a L at some point, because and people buy what they want to buy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
So you may have your clients that that they support you, and then you have people that are family members and friends that don't support you. You already know how that goes.
Yeah,
But I will also encourage them. Also, don't look for the people that to support you that you think that's going to support you. Don't look for that support
that
because
part.
you will be very disappointed.
Your feelings will be very hurt.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, I am a person that always encouraging. I'm always encouraging people to take that leap, whatever that is. But
Yeah,
just make sure that's something that you want to do and that you're passionate about, because you
absolutely.
don't know until you try, and you can
That
fail and
part.
you can try again. You
Yeah.
know, but just know that there's a monetary value attached to it.
If you're going to operate as a legit, well, no matter what, it's going to still be a monetary
Doesn't
cost.
matter
Yeah.
whether you legit or not.
Yeah. Really.
It's money.
All right. So do us a favor and tell us again how to get in touch with you. Make that the last thing here. So if you're on Instagram, what's your Instagram?
It is Namia _G _Vance, and I'll send it to you. Um,
It'll be in the description as well.
okay.
Just want you to say it.
Because I've had like five, not five, maybe 3 or 4 IGs. I used to sell hair. I used to sell. I used
You
to
got
have
to
a
try all
consignment
you
shop.
can
I
try. So
used to
that's
do a
how
lot of
you
stuff.
know
So I've
it's
changed them over
expensive.
the years, and I was like, this is too many IG pages. So I just use my name. And then the waist beads, it's just so long. I just use my name. So it's
Okay.
a mixture of personal and waist bead stuff.
Okay. All
And then
right.
the suitable attire is actually that has its own page. So suitable attire suitable underscore attire on IG and Facebook as well.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much. We are at our time. We're a little bit over, but this has been a great conversation.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
so
me. I
much, Namia,
appreciate
for
it.
your time. We appreciate you. We got to get your girl on here.
I
So
will
she can
send you her
talk about her
information.
businesses and what she's doing. But thank you again. We appreciate you. Ladies, like, comment, and share so we can get the word out. We need more women in business. We get because women are bomb. We are the bomb. So
Yes,
we're
we
doing
are.
all kind of stuff. We're doing businesses, we're raising families, we're cleaning,
Yes.
we're cooking, we're working, we're doing all these things. And so we got to get the word out about these amazing women in business. So have a great week and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much.
I
Talk to
appreciate
you
you too.
soon. Take